Hi everyone, this is the forward trading setup and activation step in part 2 of the 0 to Hero course. So what we've done so far is we've set up a broker account and the platform in the first step. Then we've created high quality test data. Then we downloaded the maximum lot robot, and we started creating optimization templates for the EAs that we would be testing. Then we actually went through the process of optimizing those robots, and then we found settings from that optimization exercise that we wanted to put forward to test in a forward testing environment. So in other words, we only selected settings that had a good drawdown to gain ratio. So it had to have a good ratio, but it also had to have a reasonable income. At that point, we were in a position to create a live trading plan. And the live trading plan was really telling us which strategies we would be testing in our forward trading activities. And that's where we kick off today, because what I'm going to be showing you in this video is the forward trading, the setup and activation of the forward trading. But so let's start where we left off in the course, creating a live trading plan. So on your screen, you can see the live trading plan that I created in the previous step. And here it is. I have gone for only testing the Profit Retriever EA, and there it is. And there are the currencies that I'm going to be testing. You'll see there are 8 currencies, 2 strategies per currency. I'm going to be testing it on the 1 minute time frame, and the strategies I'm going to be using are same direction and reverse direction strategies. Now, in my testing, those are the gains that we experienced, and those were the drawdowns, and that's why I've selected these to forward test, because the drawdowns to gain ratios was pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I have, in the process of doing that testing, created set files, and there are the set file names that I'm going to be using when I do my forward testing, and I'm going to be testing them on single platforms. In other words, I'm not going to use one account and try and test all of them in the one account. I'm actually going to create 16 different platforms, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And in order to manage these strategies, each one has to have a separate magic number, and there is the magic number that I'm going to allocate to all of the strategies. Now you can copy me exactly, because the settings that I am using I have already disclosed in a previous video. Here is the video. It's the Profit Retriever trading robot is positive in any price action, because that is what I'm doing. I'm trading same direction and reverse direction strategies, and in this video I actually give the settings that are used and the results that have been achieved. So if you want to copy my process, which I don't recommend, I think you should be doing your own process, you can certainly go down to this video, and there are the settings that I'm using for this forward testing. Then the process of creating the set files, very easy. All I do is I copy those settings that I've just shown you into the input section of the Profit Retriever, which I've loaded on a particular chart. I copy those settings, and then I'm very careful to allocate a magic number, such as in my plan, this one might be 0102, so I know that's the magic number. That is the strategy for this particular set file, and then I go in and I save it. I click on save, and I've set up a special folder, and there are all the ones that I've saved. So that's how I went about saving all the set files. I basically copied them out of the window, created them, and then saved them as set files in the numbering that I've done in my plan. So that's how the set files came about and where they came from. And as I said, you could basically copy me, but I prefer you not to. I prefer you to create your own set files. And you also saw how I allocated magic numbers within the set file. So that makes it a lot easier. So the set files also have the magic numbers in it, and those will become handy when we start trading. Now the next step here is to create platforms. MT4 platforms. So we are going to use these platforms to load the EA onto it and also then apply the set files, and then they will be ready to trade. So let's go and create those platforms. But before we do that, here's the process we're going to follow today. We're starting with a plan. That's step one. Then we're going to create the accounts and platforms to forward trade the set files on. And then once those are created, we're going to load the settings and robots into that structure. And then we're going to apply a management system, which will basically be linking those details to FX Blue and creating a portfolio to manage that. This section I will do as a separate video, because this video would become too long if I do that, and we can also do this after the next step. The next step is activate the trading. In other words, go live with the demo portfolio. I'm going to take you through 4 of the 5 steps, and we'll do this one in a separate video. Okay, so what I've done here is I've logged into my trading computer via any desk. In other words, I'm controlling that computer remotely, and we are going to set up the accounts and the portfolios for this testing. So we're going to set up 16 platforms and create 16 accounts. So in the very first step of part 2, we created an account, and that's quite important because we're now going to go to that account that we've created, and we are going to create babies from that particular account. So here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into my program file on my computer. It's normally in your C drive. You would go down here. Let's have a look if we can find it. There's the program file. That one there is normally the one. Open it up. And I've got a number of broker setups on this one, but we're going to use the IG MetaTrader platform. So there's the one that we created in the first video. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I go to that directory where IG platform is located. I right click on it and I say copy. What I then do is I go into this same folder and I then say paste. And it says you need to be an administrator. I say yes, that's fine. And it then copied that directory. Now, can you see it's just made a copy of the one that we've got there. And I'm actually going to call it what I called it in the plan, which is tester 1. So I'm going to rename this. So I go in there, right click, rename, and I call this tester 1. So now we've created our platform for tester 1. Okay, now that we've changed the name of that directory, we know that that directory supports the platform that we're going to use for tester 1. We can now open that platform, and there it is, it's open. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the terminal, which is actually the program, the application, I'm going to send it to the desktop. To do that, I right click and I send to desktop. So in other words, it creates a shortcut on the desktop, and I do that. And there you can see suddenly that icon has appeared. So I can close that, and I have this icon. Now, just to make it easy, I'm just going to move the icon right here to the top right hand side out of the way, and I'm going to firstly change the name. So I'm going to rename that icon, call it tester 1. So now we know where our program is for tester 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it. Okay, so it has opened the platform up, and now it's saying, hang on, I haven't got an account, so you better open an account. And we're going to go for the demo account, so we make sure that's highlighted, and then we go and we say next. And then we're going to say we want a new demo account, so we say next. And there, it's already got my details, so there are the details. And we're going to open a USD account. We're going to go for a deposit of 10,000, but this particular demo account will only open 10,000 accounts. So even if that says 100,000, don't worry, it'll be a 10,000 account. And they provide a standard leverage of 200 to 1. So all you have to do is you say, yes, I agree, and you say next. And then it creates an account for you. There are the account details, and those account details will be recorded in your mailbox. So you don't need to remember them, but there they are. And when using this platform, you will automatically be logged into that particular account. But it is quite handy to record that account number in your plan. So I'm going to go back to the plan. So I'm going to copy that account number, copy, and I am going to paste it in my plan so that I know which account is being traded on that particular level. So we've got our account. Let's just click finish, and it will go away, and you will start seeing activity as it updates over here. And there's a whole lot of other things that will happen. And just to show you, in the mailbox, there is your new account registration. So I'll click on that, and there are the details. So you know where to find them. You might need the password at some stage, or the investor details. That is where you find your details. So I'm not going to go any further at this stage. What I'm going to do though is tidy up a little bit here. I'm going to open that and set the trade on, because I want to see our $10,000 account. And there it is. We have our $10,000 account. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually size this. I'm going to size it to the smallest level it will allow me to. And there you are. That's the smallest level it will allow me to. And I'm going to put it up here. And I'm going to make sure that I can link that icon to this account, I'm going to actually create a new profile by saying save profile as, and I'm going to call it tester 1. And we say okay. Now what has happened is that the profile is called tester 1. So now there's a link between the platform, the desktop icon, and the actual program in our programs files. So we've created that, and what is left now is to create 16 of these. So I'm going to just create another one to show you the process, and then I'll create the other ones in the background, and we can carry on from there. So we go back into our program file. I'll just go to that level, and we go and find our IG. There we are. There's number. So now we're going to make another copy. So go right click, copy, and then paste. And it says yes. And I then go rename, and we call this tester 2. Okay, so that's all done. And then we open tester 2, we go to terminal, right click on terminal, send to the desktop. Now you should see it appear that when I click on that, there it appears right there. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to take this one over there, change the name, tester 2, close this, we don't need it anymore, and then I'm going to open tester 2. There we are, it's opened again, and we're all fine. And we say next, got all the details, I say yes, and we say next, and there it brings the next account. I'm going to copy that account number, paste it in my plan. That's the next one. Close that, and then we say finish. And what we'll do is there it updates quite nicely. We'll go to trade and make sure there's 10,000 in there. That's all good. Then we'll go to profiles, and we'll save this profile as tester 2. There we are, there's tester 2. So what I then do is I minimize this by dragging it, making it as small as it will go and as small as it will go. And what I like doing is I like overlapping them, something like that, so that when I'm actually trading, I can see all the account names in a row there, and it is efficient to store them that way on the desktop. Might go a little bit more up and a little bit up there to be more efficient, and that's it. Okay, so what I'm going to do in the background is I will stop the video, but I will then create up to 16 of these platforms, set them out exactly as I've shown you here. The icons will be over there, which are quite handy because let's say you switch your computer off and you switch it on, those will not be there. You're going to have to reactivate each one, and then all you need to do that is click on the tester icons. So that's why those icons are pretty useful. They are there to activate these platforms. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video for now and complete the rest of the task. Okay, all done. As you can see, there are now 16 platforms. They are all named according to the platform name that we've done in the plan. We also have the 16 icons there that we can use to access these ones, and I'll show you they're going to come in handy later on. And we have updated the plan to show the actual accounts that are connected to each strategy that we're going to be testing. Plus we have the IG testing programs in our program file. So everything ready to go. So what needs to happen now is we need to firstly load the profit retriever onto each of the platforms, and then we need to load the set files into a chart containing the currency that we're going to be trading. And so that's the very next step. So I'm going to start with the loading of the profit retriever program. So to download the profit retriever, go to the EA Factory website, and you just find it at the profit retriever. Click on that, and we go in and you say, all right, we already own it. I do in this particular case, so I log in, and I would then download the profit retriever, and here it is. I just download that, click on that, and it will download into the bottom left hand side of your screen, but it will also download into your download folder. I'm going to just take a shortcut and activate that particular program for now, and there it is. So it says, okay, what do you want to do next? So we say yes, and it's saying which programs do you want to load the EA into. And it is a bit messy because there are a whole lot of other platforms that I have on this particular computer, so you'll just have to keep track. So I'm going to just start with all the IG ones. So there's IG 14. Unfortunately, it only loads one at a time, so you go next and install, and it's finished. Now that we've finished that program, we'll have to go into our download folder, and there is the program, and activate it from there. So we do that. Next. So we've done 14, and then we just go down here and look for the next one. There's number 5, and you load them in and install them that way, and until you have completed 16. So it's a case of just repeating this process over and over again. So I'm not going to show you the whole lot. I'll do the hard work, and we can get together once I've loaded all the platforms with the profit retriever. Okay, I've downloaded the profit retriever into every platform, and just to give you an idea of what you should do is if you do go into the navigator, and the navigator you just get from view to navigator. If you go into the navigator, you might not see the profit retriever. So the way to do that is then to right click on the expert advisors heading, refresh, and there the profit retriever will be visible. Okay, so the next step is to load the set files into the various platforms. Now, in order to do that, you need the set files in a downloadable directory or something like that. So what has happened is I've actually downloaded all the set files. There they are into the download folder. So there are all the set files. I'm just going to highlight all of them. So you start with the first one. You press shift and click on the last one, and that highlights all of them. You then right click and you say copy. So those files are now in the memory, and I'm going to show you where to paste them. So we go to the first platform, we click on File, Open Data Folder, we click on MQLS, and we click on Presets, and we paste all of those into the presets. Close that, and then we just go on to the next one, Open Data Folder, MQL4, Presets, and we paste those all in there. And then we close, and we carry on doing exactly that process for the rest. So again, I'm not going to show you that whole process. You've seen the first two. I'm just going to complete it for the rest. Okay, so now we have the EA as well as all the presets loaded into the 16 platforms. The next step is basically to load the EA and the set files into a chart of the currency that we're going to be trading. So let's do that next. So let's start with number one, and I'm going to maximize that chart. So we know that from our plan we are trading the pound USD in the same direction, but the set file that we're going to be using the PRA1. So let's go and do that. Or let's start with a clean chart. So we say load pound. There's a clean chart of the pound. And I'll maximize it. Then we go to our expert advisor and we say we want to load this up. So the first time you're loading up, it might ask for a license confirmation. So we go common, allow live trading, and allow DLL imports. We then click on inputs, and this is where we start loading the set file. So we know it's PRA1. We load that in and open it up. So what will have happened is the set file will have filled in all the inputs, and it will have the magic number in place, and we then say OK. So this is the point at which you will be asked to do your access ID. If you don't own this EA, you won't have access to it. I own this EA, so all I do is I enter my access ID, and it will then give me access to the EA. So I've entered my access ID. I now have a licensed copy of the file, and there it is. So we know that we now have the EA loaded on a platform. It is got the settings in it. We just need to change the platform from an H1 to a 1 minute, because remember we said we're going to be trading this on the 1 minute chart. It actually doesn't matter what format this is in. We can do all kinds of things to make it look a little bit prettier, like get rid of the grid. But essentially, this EA is now ready to trade. And what we're going to do is all we need to do is click on auto trading, and it will start trading. So this platform has been set up. So what I'm going to do, as I did before, I'm going to do the next one with you again, and then I will complete the rest. So here we are. It is the pound. Again, let's see, we do, but again, I suggest what you do is you load a fresh chart, because it won't have indicators or anything like that. There's the pound 1 hour. We're looking for the 1 minute, and we then load the profit retriever on there, and we say common, yes, yes, and we do inputs, and we just load the preloaded one, which is that one, and we say open. So now those settings are in there, all good. Let's have double check the magic number. Yes, 102. And we can say okay. Now in this case it might not ask us for a license. Oh, it did. And it did, because this is a completely standalone platform. So it wants, sometimes it needs licenses for every single platform. And there we are again. This one is ready. All we need to do is click on disable the block on auto trading, and it will in fact start trading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same process for the rest of them. It's very easy, because I've named my set files in the order that I'm going to be trading. The magic numbers are in that order, and when I'm finished with this exercise, this will all be in alignment. The profit retriever will be loaded, the currency will be loaded, the time frame will be loaded, and the set file will be loaded into that platform with that magic number and that account number. So it's all coming together quite nicely. So again, I'm going to pause the video and just complete the rest of the exercise. Okay, we have all the set files loaded, we have all the charts set up, and we are ready to go. One last very, very important thing that you need to do before you go live is you need to do a controlled close down, because MetaTrader is a very robust software, but it doesn't like power failures. And what happens is, if it does encounter unexpected power failures or unexpected close downs because of a Windows update or something like that, it doesn't like it, and it loses the settings. So sometimes you'll find that the name tester is replaced by a default setting, and that means that you need to go into that platform and find the profile name that you've set for it, and then make sure that everything's running quite smoothly. So to avoid that type of thing, what we're going to do very quickly is a controlled close down. So we've set everything up, everything is fine, it's ready, nothing's going to happen if we just close everything. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to close all the platforms, do a controlled close down. This gives MetaTrader a chance to save the setups that we've just created. Very important step. A lot of traders don't do this step. So now everything's gone, and that's why these are so important. We just have to activate them again. And I just click on them, and they'll slowly open one by one. Okay, so they've all reopened, and I'm just going to double check that we have the tester profile set up there. Everything seems fine. So what will happen now, if you do have an unexpected power failure or close down in a hurry, it will remember the settings that have just been in place, and it should not hopefully lose those particular settings. Okay, very important point. So what we're ready for now is actually to go live with this trading. There's nothing holding us back. Okay, so what we've done so far, we've started with a plan. We've loaded the accounts in the platforms. We've loaded the settings and the robots and the currencies in. We haven't done the management system, and as I've explained earlier, we will do that as a separate video. It can be done after you've gone live, so that's no problem. And now the last step is to activate trading, and I'm going to actually do that right now. Okay, so here we are, we're ready to activate, and all we need to do is actually click on auto trading. So I'm going to activate auto trading all at the same time. So I'm going to go activate, 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 activate. So what will happen now is it'll actually start trading. It might even place trades straight away. And what we'll do is we'll just double check. Now there might be some error messages that come up, but let's see what happens. So I'm activating auto trading. Okay, so they're all auto trading. So what I do next is I just open each one to see if there are any problems. So, okay, I've opened the first one and there's an error message there. Sometimes if you just go in to the settings again and you click OK, the error messages go away. So some of those error messages are just notifications, so don't worry too much about them. Okay, let's go on and see if there's any other error messages. Same kind of error message. So again, I just go in, I click on OK, and it goes away. So it seems like there's a particular reading that doesn't happen too quickly. Okay, so here's an error message that we need to pay attention to, and we go. Firstly, I'll get rid of the other error message. Okay, now we've got an error message that says, "Hey mate, your spreads are too low." So in this one we're trading the pound New Zealand. So in the set file we haven't catered for a high spread. So let's go and have a look at the actual settings. Here's the maximum spread setting. Now for the pound New Zealand, the spreads are often quite high. There it says 5. I'm just going to move that up to 8 if it's going to cause problems. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so there's a few problems already resolved as we've gone along. So let's have a look what's next. And you can see the trading's happening. The equity will drop below 10,000 because normally when the trading activates, you have to pay the spread. And yeah, we've got another one. Now, oh, this is the pound New Zealand, same problem. So we just go in there and we change it to 8. No problem. Should have picked this up at the set file stage, but that's a quick one to resolve. And that's it. This one's working fine. This is just a communication. Even at 8, it looks like it's missing some. The spreads are too high at certain times. So let's go, and we again, as I say, we basically just doing a cleanup here. Properties, okay, get rid of that message. All right, so connection down to twice. So it says that my server, or sometimes it is in fact the broker server that is problematic. So it's not always the one on our side. And let's see, okay, both those error messages have disappeared. So opening the input side of the EA is often a very quick way of resolving error messages. Sometimes they are just communications that say, hang on, I've missed a trade because of the following reasons. Now here's one where the hour time frame is being used. Not too serious. I'll just change it to 1 minute, and that's better. Okay, and there we go. All right, so if essentially what we've done in this video is we have gone through the process of creating a portfolio of 16 trading instruments, and loaded the set files and got them trading, all in this one video. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can monitor the trading without having to open every single file as I'm doing right now. I'm going to show you how you can use FX Blue to monitor individual accounts, but also to create a portfolio of the trading so that you can see which of these are trading well and which are not doing that well. Okay, so there we are. That's the sum total of this video. We've done pretty well. We've gone from 0 to having open an active trading demo portfolio. Very big jump. Very few traders get to this point. And in the next section, let's go and have a look at the next section. In the next section, we're going to be looking at monitoring and managing the forward trading. So when things go bad, what do we do? When things go well, what do we do? And that type of thing. And also, we're going to be putting in the monitoring system, which is the FX Blue system of monitoring individual accounts, but also monitoring portfolios. We're in this portfolio at the moment. The same process is going to apply to creating the live account portfolio as well as the hospital portfolio. So exactly the same process that I've shown you now will apply to those particular portfolios. So the technical aspect has been covered for both those particular portfolios. Now, I hope you've learned something from this particular video. If there are any questions, please ask them in the 0 to Hero course or in the general discussion areas available in YouTube and elsewhere. From me, Alex Deploy, cheerio.